Welcome to the Here and Now Show. I am your host, Lavonda Ray. And if you've tuned into the Here and Now Show, you know that I'm coming from the Midwest where we come in and my hair, I got a little, where we come in and show out. Hello, somebody. Gotta love your city. Yes. And if you tuned into my podcast before, you know that my channel is where I've taken real life events and changed them into a positive living. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them because I believe that all voices matter. So with that being said, let's get into it. Welcome back. If you've been rocking with me for the last 4 months, then you know that I am a stickler for jazz music, and I play the jazz music before I actually start the show to kind of set the atmosphere. For me, it's to kind of set the stage for the presence, and jazz music always seems to do that for me. So we're gonna go ahead and play my jazz, and hope you guys like it. I kind of keep the same type of jazz because like I said, I really do like jazz music and it sets the stage for me. So let's just, do that for a couple seconds. Hello, somebody. I put my glasses on because y'all know your girl can't see. Hey. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Here and Now Show. Before I dive into things, I want to start off by saying, yesterday I air, as you guys know, Tuesdays and Thursday, and today's Wednesday. So I'm airing today because, I had some internet issues yesterday. So I thought that I was on the air for 30 minutes and actually I was on there for 12. So it was like I had to come back and let you guys know, and I also posted it to let you guys know that I am not perfect. Mistakes happen. It wasn't within my control, but I'm back with the same nice topic. So let's get a clap for that, for being imperfect. But yes, so welcome back, my beautiful people. It's your girl. I am glad that you guys are here with me right here and right now because this conversation is many that people need, but not enough people are having. Today I'm talking about something that is real, something that is honest, and get this, something human, right? I'm talking about the truth. It's okay not to be okay. Let me say that again for the people in the back, or the people driving, or the people pretending that they're fine, especially those people that are smiling behind their pain. It's okay not to be okay. Okay. Sometimes life hits you hard, and sometimes your heart gets extremely heavy. Sometimes we wake up not because, you wake up and you're tired, but not because you're sleepy, but because your soul has carried so much. And guess what? That doesn't mean you're weak. That doesn't mean you're broken. Okay. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you are human. Today's conversation is for everybody. It's for men, it's for women. Even preteens can tap in because pain does not care how old you are, and stress doesn't ask you a gender, and heartbreak doesn't knock politely. And let me speak to the men for a second. My brothers. I love y'all of all races, of all creed. I'm gonna speak to you guys for a minute, but and sisters, we're gonna talk. All my sisters, I love y'all. Y'all are the best. We are sisters in Christ, sisters across the world. We carry babies, so that alone, we walk with the pain. So, but right now, I want to just say to my brothers, you know, I'm talking to you. You know, I know a lot of you men were taught to man up, Some of y'all were told that maybe big boys don't cry. Some of y'all even trained your mind to suffer in silence, to suffer, quietly. But let me tell you something powerful. I have myself seen the strongest man cry in a room, and those tears was real. And it didn't make him less than a man because I don't know that, but some men I think feel that if they cry out loud, then it means they're weak. And I don't mean the cry, I mean crying out loud like in front of people you love versus crying elsewhere in public. I mean, and by yourself. But it doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. As I said, I mean, men are part of this earth. They live in this crazy world just like us, right? So yes, they have feelings, and yes, they do sometimes need someone to say, "Hey, are you okay?" Not just a okay, but are you mentally okay? You know, so so what I'm saying is that men do cry, and when they cry, to me, it makes them honest. It makes them, it made him, in my eyes, it made him real, and it also made him with courage because sometimes the tears are proof that you held it together so long without anybody even knowing it, that you were holding it together. And those tears is just a reflection of releasing, pain. And, women, like I said, my sisters, we carry families, you know, we carry emotions, we carry responsibilities, we even carry dreams. And sometimes everybody else's problems. And yes, we can pour into everybody else, even when our cup runs dry, we still scraping the edges. That's just us, right? As women, as mothers, you know. And to the preteens, if you're listening, you know, you are growing, you're learning, and your emotions is just running scare crazy. And you don't even know how to name half of those emotions yet. That makes you confused, and that makes you also sensitive. It also can be so frustrating. But I will tell you, you young teens, you are not weird. You are just growing. Okay. Now, before I go and dive into it, let me tell you something. I have a question. Has anybody ever asked you, or somebody asked you, "Are you okay?" And then you say, "Oh, I'm okay," and then later crying because you burnt your toast. But see, the thing wasn't about the toast burning. The toast was just the final straw. Sometimes life stacks stress so high that one missing sock can cause you a complete emotional meltdown. You're not crazy. Don't think you're crazy. You're just overloaded, you know? So today we're going to laugh. We're going to heal. We're going to breathe. We're going to talk honest about our emotions, tears, and healing and strength, and why that crying is sometimes therapy with water. Now you're probably like, what the hell? What does she mean that crying is sometimes therapy with water? What I'm saying is I don't want to promote, therapy and alcohol, but I'm just saying like you ever had like have those type of bottled waters you put in your freezer and you take it out and it's frozen, but it's still not all the way frozen. It still has ice in it, but it's enough where you can, still drink it, but it's ice cold, and you have that fresh gas of water. You're like, oh my God, I was so thirsty, right? Those that thirst, that quench going down your throat, that cold refreshing is almost like your tears through therapy, right? You're crying it out, and you got that good bottled water. I don't know. Made sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, I get it. I'm just here. But let's get into it. I'm gonna take like a 5 6 second jazz break before we get into it. You guys, if you need to go get some coffee, or you need to go to the bathroom, or you need to go grab you a juice, whatever it may be, I will be back in a few. I'm not going anywhere, but we're going to take a break for just literally a few seconds. Thank you. Little jazz music. All right. I hope you guys, you're probably like, that wouldn't enough time for me to go to the bathroom and back. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're back. So just you can go ahead and go to the bathroom and finish doing what you're doing because I'll still be here. Hello, somebody. But let's get into it. So I left off saying, about the crying. But here's another thing that I want to talk about. Why do we pretend that we are fine? People ask you, "Hey, how you doing?" We say, "Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. I can't complain." Oh my gosh, that is the famous one. I can't complain. Meanwhile, your eyes is twitching, your bills is due, your kids is yelling all through the house. You haven't cooked dinner yet, and then your ex is texting your phone, or she's texting your phone, and now all of a sudden your back hurt, and you don't even know where the back pain came from. It's just all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I got back pain for no reason, right? So it's just all these emotions going on, right? And so I sometimes think that's why people pretend that you're okay. But I will tell you this, a lot of us learn to hide our pain. And that's not necessarily a good thing because it consists of a buildup. And when you're hiding, or you're, not necessarily hiding, but you don't talk about your emotions, it steadily builds up and it spreads. It can be, then now we have an emotional, and now not only are you emotional, now you're falling into, I don't know, a depression, a self-doubt, and all those things can meet in the same room. But we can beat it and work through it if you just let yourself know, hey, I'm okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay for me not to be okay, right? Just understand that. I just really need you to understand it's okay not to be okay. Because, a lot of us, we smile in public and cry in private. We laugh online, cracking up, and break down offline. Why is that? Maybe because a lot of time we celebrate your strengths and we often ignore the struggle, you know? But strength is not pretending. Real strength is honest and saying, I'm not okay today. I'm not okay today. And to me, that is the biggest sentence you can say to yourself, that you can say to someone you love, that I'm not okay. And it's okay for me not to be okay. Crying is not a weakness. Now, let's talk tears, right? Some people act like crying is your failures. No, crying releases. Your body is designed with tears for a reason, right? When pressure builds up, tears kind of reset your emotions for me because you're crying it all out in your emotions. Then, when you cry, you be like, that felt better. Cry it out. Sometimes you don't need answers. Sometimes you just need a good cry it out and a nap. Can I get a hello? Can I get a amen? And so, my men, my brothers, you are allowed to cry. Okay. You are allowed to cry. If you can bench press, I don't know, 300 pounds, you still need to release pain. You can be a provider, but you still need comfort, right? Still need comfort. You can be tough as you want, and you can be a tough guy and all that, all about, but you still have feelings. Strength is not, emotions silently. That's not showing strength. Strength is emotions and being honest about your emotions. I had once seen a man lose his mother, which after losing your mother, I seen him crying, and as you should, and he was a huge guy, he had strong hands, and he was a hard worker, and he was a good guy, he was a big guy, big buff guy, and he said to me, he was crying, and he said, I thought that I had to hold it all in, and I kind of rubbed his back, and I said, no, sir, no. Mm-mm. Because love comes from tears. That's not a weakness. That's love with nowhere else to go. So you stream it down. You let it out, right? And to my women, all of us, all races, all of us. There's nothing. There's all of us. We're all sisters. We are expected to be the everything, but we're strong, but we're also soft. We're tired and still smiling, busy, oh, but we're available, hurting and nurturing at the same time. That pressure is real. We're not expected. You're not expected to heal everybody while you're bleeding on the inside. No more, no more, no more, no more. You are allowed to pause. Hello, somebody. You are allowed to go cry in the bathroom for 5 minutes and come back out stronger than ever because you were releasing that. You let that weight go. You drop the weight. You are allowed to say, I need help today. You know, you don't have to have it all together. And if someone calls you emotional, you say, you know what? Thank you. Because being emotional, that means that you can feel. And that's a gift in itself. And to the preteens, my young listeners, you know, emotions are real. I know that friends and trying to get in with the friend crowds is huge. And whether you're feeling left out or you're feeling hurt because your body's changing, it's just weird and wanting to fit in, you know, but don't hurt yourself trying to find yourself. Because even as adults, me as an adult, I sometimes forget the whole how hard those years can be, when your body's changing, your mind's changing, you don't know who's your friends and you're just trying to figure it out. But I promise you you'll be okay. You will balance it out. So if you're young and you're struggling, you can talk to somebody. What works for me is also writing things in a journal or cry if you need to. Okay. Take a walk, breathe, and you don't have to grow up overnight. That same group of people or that crush or whatever, more than likely, they are still going to be there. But you have to learn to love yourself first. Learn to look at self and be like, okay, I got self. Now let me figure out who and where I want to be, right? And let me tell you something real. Some people cry, in the showers only because that's the only place of privacy. Some people cry in the car because they still got errands to run by 3 p.m. Some people, like myself, cry when they're cooking dinner. Do you know how many onions I've cut up pretending that I am cutting up onions? And, I'm actually, there's nothing I'm cooking needs onions, but yet I am using the onions to cover my tears. Just, are you okay, Mom? Oh, I'm fine. It's the onions, covering, shielding, but at the same time releasing, so that was funny because the one thing about it, life doesn't stop when pain starts. So if you cry at night because you done held it in all day, you're not alone. Okay. There are people that are functioning like myself that, they still be hurting, and just getting up every day is a struggle. But when you do it and you done it, it's like, oh, look at me. And if you survive those seasons, I honor you. I honor you, but just don't stay there too long. Now let's balance this. Don't stay there too long. Meaning, yes, cry because you can feel it, right? Yes, acknowledge pain, but do not build a house there. Pain can visit, but it has to move forward. You know, it has to move forward. You can grieve, but also heal. You can rest, but rise, right? You know, um, you can cry, but continue to take that walk. Drink water. I'm like, what? What's all this stuff for drinking water? I don't know. I just drinking water is so healthy, right? Drink some water. Call a friend. Pray. Whatever you believe in, pray about it, and all those things above will be eliminated because it'll show you that path. But if not, journal or, even get a counselor if that is what you need, because you want to laugh again, right? You want to laugh because laughing also touches the soul in ways that tickles the whole soul. You're just cracking up because emotions are meant to move through, not to trap you. So you're meant to move through your emotions, just not to trap you and keep you there. It is to learn lessons. And sometimes movement helps healing. Like if you're walking a block, that helps healing. Or you're walking at the park and you see all the people playing and the kids playing and, people just doing their own thing. Or walking around Target or Walmart. Shoot. Sure, because that's a good place to heal. You start shopping, but then now, it's the issue that I buy stuff I didn't need. But hey, I'm healed. Hello, somebody. Because a good walk can clear the mind. One step says, I'm here, I'm still moving, I'm still healing. And if you cry, well, you'll walk. Well, that's therapy for your heart, and that's effective because you're also, you're working out that heart, and you're crying out and you're letting it out loud. That is so effective. That is a beautiful, beautiful cause and effect. It's wonderful. And, because I mean, have you ever been there where, well, I've been there. There's been situations, so funny. I have to share this story. And you're like standing in your kitchen, and all of a sudden you just get really emotional. And I'm emotional. I'm standing in my kitchen. Then I realize I'm hungry. And that wasn't depression. That was low sugar. I want to say something. Listen, eat first and then process your feelings because it's hard to process your feelings on an empty stomach. And I'm saying it wasn't the depression. I'll say it again. It was low sugar. So eat first and then process, your feelings. And then another thing that I feel, never trust your emotions after midnight. You're like, what? What do you mean? Don't trust? I don't know. For me, everything just feels worse after midnight. After midnight, at 1 a.m., I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole life is falling apart. But then by 8 o'clock after sleep, I'm like, oh, I think I just needed a good rest. You know, sleep has saved a lot of my dramatic decisions that I might have made if I was not fully awake. When life feels heavy, you know, that's the moment you say, this moment's hard, but it will pass. This moment's hard, but it will pass. I'm hurting, but I'm healing. I'm hurting, but I'm healing. I'm emotional, but I'm not weak. I'm emotional, but I'm not weak. I need help, and that's okay. I need help, and that's okay. I will be okay. Repeat that till you believe it. Just do that for me. Just repeat that until you believe it, and then everything you believe starts to come out in the outer of you, and it's like, voila. So before I close today's conversation, I want to leave something with you guys in your hearts. One is you don't have to be strong every second. Okay. You do not have to smile through suffering. You don't have to pretend that you're okay just to make other people comfortable. Okay. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to pause, and you are allowed to let it out. And to my men, your tears does not remove your manhood. Just because you cry doesn't make you less than a man. Your emotions do not weaken your strength. Okay. And your vulnerability does not make you small. When you are vulnerable, it doesn't make you small. It just needs, and you need a little tender love and care, just like us as women. Sometimes the strongest men cry because they've carried too much for too long. Now it's time to lay it down. We're not carrying that no more. It's okay, my brothers. It is okay. And my sisters, you don't have to save everybody. And don't try to save everybody and losing yourself. Okay. And so my preteens growing up is messy, and it's crazy messy feelings, and it's confusion, but you're gonna be okay. Listen carefully. Bad days happen. Hard seasons happen. Pain happens, but pain is not permanent. Cry if you need to, then wash your face, take a walk, and lift your head up and keep going. Because there's life after this moment. There's life after, there's joy after the sadness. There is healing after heartbreak, and there is strength in you that is inside of you that maybe you didn't even know you had because now you see the strength in you. It's like, okay, I'm letting it go. And now I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it be known that it's okay to be not okay. Just don't stay there too long. So, you guys make sure you check on that friend, and most is check on that strong friend. Make sure they're all right, and most of all, check on yourself. And it's okay not to be okay. You just don't stay there for too long. Also, before I close, if you guys, want to stay connected, check out Marshall's Books and More, my webpage. I would love the purchase, the support. I have men clothing, women clothing, and accessory designed by the one and only myself. Also, I will be back on the air tomorrow because it is Thursday. And so you guys have a good evening. You are wealthy, you are healthy, you are wise, you are blessed. Cook something good this evening. If you got to let it out, let it out. It is okay. We are all here. I want you guys to know I thank you for being with me here and right now. With that being said, I am off the air with much love and support. Like and subscribe. I would like that so much. So good night.